get barefoot.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. You got a special episode coming up for you today. A nice little collaboration with a healing touch tutorial by Rebecca and myself, a strength and conditioning coach. All to get to what? This is the third iteration of Rebecca's video series, a healing touch series. This is the third one. We made our way all the way from up here, all over our face, down into here, down into our midsection, and now, boom, down to our feet. All right, so today what I'm gonna show you, what we're gonna go over today is a little bit of foot fitness. Let's gain some mobility, let's gain some control of our feet. First up, motion in our feet, or lack of motion in our feet, will affect the entire chain of motion throughout the body. All right, so I got a ton of bones, a ton of joints, a ton of muscles in here. In fact, 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles just in my foot. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. That's pretty crazy when you think about in the ankle, there's only 10 muscles. In the knee, about 15. In the joints, I'll go up there. You got 3 joints in the knee. Like I said, 33 just in the foot. So imagine the kind of control that has to have over the whole body. So if I have no control over my feet and no proprioception because of this type of shoes I've been wearing. Let's say my shoes were nice heeled. Most athletic shoes have, you know, anywhere from 12 to 20 millimeters of heel drop, right? So that means we're sitting on nearly an inch of extra padding in our heel compared to our forefoot. All right, a lot of shoes now are getting a little more natural, a little more flatter. 0 to 5, 0 to 4 millimeters is a pretty good place to be when considering a natural, a minimalist shoe. All right, so hey, let's get into the foot exercises. Yeah, we'll talk about it there. First up, let's get barefoot. All right, now that we're barefoot, let's gain some understanding and let's gain some tools to work on our foot fitness. Foot fitness is just gaining control, gaining some proprioception, gaining some strength, figuring out how to control our feet just a little bit more than before. We can add this into a warm-up before your yoga session, warm-ups before your runs, etc. Anything where you're going to be taking impact, because there's so many kind of receptors on the bottom of our feet that will go straight up into our knees, straight up into our hips, and as you know, spread out from there. So, balance, stability, and control are all correlates of foot fitness. To express our strength and our control through our feet, we must be able to get some control. So, let's gain some understanding and some control with 7 little exercises. We got the toe lifts. We're gonna lift up the toes, right? Then we're gonna do some alternating of those. Once we do some alternating of those, then we're gonna spread them. Once we spread them, we're gonna do some toe tapping. So we got the pinky toe, the big toe, the pinky toe, the big toe. We'll go through that in a second. Then we got the rock and roll. The rock and roll is a little bit more about the ankle. We're just gonna get aware with how we feel rocking and rolling, and what that does to our knee, what muscles that kind of recruits in the leg, and so on. Okay, from there we're gonna do the foot fold. The foot fold is pretty easy. Foot fold, we're just gonna fold our foot in half, kind of work on our pad of the foot. And then we got what we call short foot. We're gonna take our foot and we're gonna shorten it by clawing at the ground, kind of gripping the ground like a bird, like an animal. First up, I'd like you just to walk around on the mat without looking at your feet, nice and soft, kind of engaging the feet, and that's it. Without looking at them, you'll kind of figure out, okay, I can walk smooth on this, I'm protecting my feet. Naturally, we have an instinct to protect our feet at all times, which is going to protect our body at all times. Now, let's bring our eyes down to the feet. What always amazed me was that when I walked around, and I'll have you know, I worked in a pool barefoot for many, many, many years, and a lot of time barefoot, all right? So as we walk, you'll notice your big toe and all the other toes kind of come up. And it does so without us even telling it to do so. It's just a kind of natural motion, and we don't have to think about it. That's completely linked from here all the way down to there, or there, back up to here. Okay, so the base of all movements, and as a strength and conditioning coach, the base of any lift or exercise, if it's on your feet, will start from your feet. So, first up, we got the toe lifts. We're just gonna look down at our feet. Pretty easy. We're gonna look down at our feet, and we're gonna lift up all the toes. We're gonna see, with the softed knee, how that changes our balance. Okay, so let's grip the ground, lift all our toes, and let's see what that happens with soft knees and with hard knees. We're stiff knees. All right? So we're lifting toes, we're plopping them back down. We're lifting toes, soft knee, plopping back down. We're lifting toes, stiff knees, plopping them back down. We're just kind of gaining, okay, I can lift up my toes, no big deal, right? So the toe lifts. Oh, you got all the toes? And then you got the big toes and the little toes. So fun fact of the day, there's some muscles right in here that will control the middle set of 3 toes. There's a muscle that goes right up in here and right up into there that controls the big toe. There's also a little muscle that will control the little toe, which is one that we often have lost kind of relationship to. So again, we got the big toe, we got the middle toes, and then we got the side toe. All right, the 3 little muscle groups work those big toes. And they all work together. Some of the muscles come up through the ankle and up into our leg, and some of them don't. Most of them kind of stay right there in the foot. What we're going to do, we're going to lift them, we're going to hold them for 5 seconds, we're going to drop them, we're going to do that 10 times through. All right, so soft knee, middle toe, going to be pointed forward. That's how we know we're good. We're going to lift up the toes, hold it for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to release them. We're going to walk them out, shake them out, and hold them back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them down. All right, we walk it out. All right, another angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We let it down. All right, we're going to bring it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to let it go. We want to feel it almost on the front side, the foot, the legs, even in the quads. Bring that up for a hard 5 seconds. We let it go. All right, 10 times through, 5-second holds, really quick. We're going to go by feel, and that's all right. That's all right. All right, next up is the alternating. So now we're really going to try to gain some control of our foot. We're going to get sure-footed, kind of middle toe here, going to be pointed forward. And we're going to try to pick up our big toes, just our big toe. So we pick up the big toe. You may find that one looks a little different than the other, and that a few little repetitions of it is all you need to get the understanding of how to just lift that big toe. All right? Now we're going to just lift, we're going to switch, and we're going to lift the rest of the toes. So it'll look like this. We had big toe, now we're going to have little toes. Big toes, little toes. Big toes, little toes. And as I sort of get the movement down, that's when I'm going to start to add a little bit of time. All right, a little bit of time. We're going to have big toes, little toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big toes, little toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 times through. Holding as you wish, and being aware of what's going on with this. All right, so our knee input is quite cool here. All right, if we're having an issue bringing just the toe up, bring the knee down and see what happens to that shape. You see when I bend my knees, my toes also move? Direct proof that our base is going to affect what's happening in our knees, is going to affect what's happening in our core, and that goes to say for every exercise we do, and that's walking, running, jumping, doing yoga, balance poses, whatever you're doing on those feet. Okay? So that was the first one. We had the toe lifts. Now the interesting one is the toe spread. So our toes a lot of times sit like this, and we got our pinky toe. It's kind of like chilling all weird, right? So let's gain some control here. Let's lift all of them up, and then see if we can spread them. So we will lift them all up, looking at them, trying to get a gap between all of them. All right, trying to get a gap between all. There it is. All right, try to get a gap. There it is. Bring it back. So for this one, I'm going to take this camera. I'm going to bring it close to my feet. All right, there we go. I can see both my toes. I'm going to lift them up, and I'm going to spread them. Relax them, lift them up. I'm going to spread them. All right. If you can see a gap between all of the toes, you got some pretty good control. For me, I'm seeing a little less gap here, so I'm going to stick my finger in there, and I'm going to do the same thing. All right? There it is. So I spread it apart a little bit, then I engaged it. When I engaged it, then I gained some control of it. All right? So back to the mat. So those were the toe spreads. Again, we're going to do about 10 of those. If we don't have a gap, let's say we spread them, we don't have a gap here, right? We're just going to stick our finger between them, spread it a little bit, and then give it a few seconds, relax it, spread it again. When we spread it again, we should start gaining control of all those little toes. So it's quite fun to figure out how to move these bad boys on their own. And when you do so, that is when you're like, okay, I'm starting to link the control from down there It's up here. It's a neurological pathway. We're gaining some we're getting in a mode of neuroplasticity at that point, and then we can really kind of focus on what's going on with the feet. Now we got the toe taps. So now that we know how to spread our toes, now we're going to do alternating toe taps. So we got the big toe, and then we got the little toe. Big toe, little toe. Got the big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. All right, it's pretty fun actually for me. It's interesting how we have lost so much control of our feet and how just a little bit of motion can get them flowing back to normal. So that one, be aware of all these leg muscles, maybe even up in here, that you're feeling tension to get control of. And as you kind of get through this and as you do it more often in your little warm-ups before class, before any sort of exercise sessions, then you'll start to feel how easier it'll get. Now we got the rock and roll. The rock and roll gets up into the ankle a little bit. And I want you to be aware of which position feels a little more uneasy to be in, a little more uncomfortable. And see how it changes your balance position, where your mass is over where on your feet is your weight. So from here we got the rock and the roll. Kind of be aware of what's going on with the knee too. So as we supinate or pronate our ankles or invert or evert our ankles, our knees move too. It's a direct relation from our feet up to our knees. So for me, I get a little more uncomfortable in this position. My balance wants to go forward. I need to space it out back on between my heel and the foot pad of my foot. That's the rock and roll. We'll go through that 10 times. Just kind of feeling how much easier it gets to get in those positions. A great way to warm up the foot and ankle for any sort of run or exercise you're getting into. All right, next up is the foot fold. Foot fold. We're really just taking our foot. We lift up our toes. We crunch it back down to the ground. Nice little star feet. And we're going to fold them up. Now, in this position, I want to take this toe and bring it up to your knee. So, right, I'm trying to get it up into my knee, and then I'm going to lift my foot off the ground and see if it changes. All my toes are up, including my big toe, and I was in that foot fold, and now I'm going to hold that. All right? Then I'm going to go through this range of motion a couple times. My opposite leg is a soft knee. I'm not doing squats here. I'm just soft knee, controlling myself. So that's the foot fold. We'll add a little bit of rotation in there. This comes all the way up to the hip. We're kind of pushing down the pad of our foot into the ground on that rotation. So, toes are up, forward fold, rotate onto it from big toe all the way to the little toe, and then back the other way. Every time I do that, my hand's also like this, so just bear with me. Next up, we got the foot fold, toes are up. This one, I've lost a little bit of mobility in because I think I've injured it over time. All right, so I've injured this ankle and these toes. So I have to work on my balance so that I don't get hurt. And that's the point here. All of this stuff, gain foot fitness, gain that control, be able to express strength and balance throughout your life. It might sound simple, and it really is. And it might be so simple to overlook that you just don't do it. And what you're doing is missing out on a little bit of extra development that will lower your risk of injury and allow you to live a happier life. All right, so that was the foot fold. Lots of different variations to that. Really, we're just bending the foot. Really tricky one here is to balance up on the toes. Find your balance. Now we're squat down on the toes. Okay, all right. So this is an advanced version of the foot fold. We may or may not have done this in a yoga practice. And there it is. So that's the last, no, we got one more. Short foot. Short foot is actually doming. We're taking this right here, and we're trying to shorten it. So we're shortening that foot, all right? So short foot is toes will come up, toes will scrunch into the ground, and I'm trying to grab the ground. I'm trying to grab the ground like I'm a bird. I'm trying to shorten my foot without my toes rolling under. All right, so you can see this from a different angle. We hold that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your center of balance, just like you'd be in a mountain pose. Grip the feet into the floor. Violently hold it, 5-second contraction, let it go. Now with your eyes closed, see if you can do this and let go, and do this and let go, grip and let go, and see how that changes your balance. For me, I'm kind of like, which is adding a little bit of extra resistance to this foot fitness protocol. Super simple. Give it a shot. See how you feel afterwards. There is another sequence to go after where we sit here. We manually massage our feet to kind of wake them up and add a little bit of extra mobility. That way, we got all this control in our feet, and that's what we're after. So, hey, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a shot. I don't want to take too long in the video because I know we got some busy lives ahead of us. But hey, let's live injury-free. Let's be healthy. Let's have a little bit better balance. We'll have a better yoga practice all together. Thank you, a Healing Touch tutorial. Thanks, Rebecca, for having me, and we'll see you guys on the next side, all right?